Hello, everyone, and welcome to Notorious Momz, the podcast. I'm here with my girl Rose from Mamalyfe podcast. How you doing, girl?
Hi, I'm good.
It's been a while. The last time I was on your show, I'm happy that you're on my show.
Yes, I am so excited to be here also.
So tell the people what you're about.
Oh my God. Well, I'm a mom of three boys, of course.
Yes,
And I'm also a podcaster. I host Mamalyfe, and you can find it on all platforms.
yes.
Yes,
You
and
gotta drop your handle.
my handles Apple, Spotify, Google, anywhere you look for podcasts, I'm there.
Great. So today's topic, so you have three boys, I have two kids, and I feel like this topic is not really spoken about a lot, kind of like how we discipline our children and how we were disciplined versus how we discipline our children today. I feel like it's just something that a lot of people don't want to touch because everybody has different
Yeah.
perspectives and everybody feels like, they do things differently when it comes to discipline their parenting style. So how do you feel about that? Like, what do you feel about first of all, well, how do you discipline your kids? Like,
Girl,
what does that look like to you?
my parenting style is like different. I think my husband is the main disciplinarian
Hmm.
because I think like the boys take me for a softie, so
Because your
they get
mom.
away with more stuff with mommy,
Hmm. Hmm.
and daddy has to come in and lay down the law. But the way we discipline them, we talk to them about their actions and make sure that they understand that they what they're doing is wrong. Now, if they talk back to us or say something bad, we pop them and we send them to the room. So,
Gotcha. So you do believe in like corporal punishment, like you pop your kids.
yes, I do pop them because I believe that if they're doing something really bad, sometimes the popping comes in handy because I think that's how you learn.
I agree. Like, and how would you say, like, how were you disciplined at home, like by your parents or the people that raised you, like growing up?
I wasn't.
Oh, okay.
I was what you call the spoiled child. I was not disciplined at all.
Do you have any brothers and sisters?
I have a little sister, but it's from my dad's side. So
Gotcha.
I'm technically the only child, technically.
Technically. Okay. Gotcha. Well, I'm jealous. I'm gonna say that because my ass used to get beat. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Like legit.
Oh my God. I heard people say that. I'm always like, oh, what is that like? Because all I get is yelled at and, empty threats. So it's like, oh no.
No, my mother used to beat me.
Oh
Like,
no.
I used to get, and I was the little one, but I was just always doing things. According to my family, I was very much like how my daughter is now. So sometimes I look at her and I'm just like, oh my God, like, why are you doing this? But then my mother constantly reminds me, like, you used to be the same way. And I'm
Well,
like,
that's sweet.
damn, no wonder why I used to get. But me and my husband, we don't believe in corporal punishment when it comes to, well, let me not say we, let me say he, because I believe that, not to like beat your children to like oblivion. I don't like condone that. But sometimes, like you said, a little popping,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't hurt anyone. So I feel like sometimes it gets to a point where it's just like you gotta just you gotta pop them or pluck them
Yes.
or like something. You know what I'm saying? Like because they just need it. But my husband believes in having talks, sitting down, like explaining to the our daughter like why this is not right, why this is dangerous, or because she lives on the edge a lot.
Oh.
Yeah, she
Is she
is.
like the second child?
She's the baby. Yes.
Oh.
Yes, she's the baby. She's the second child. She lives on the edge and she's very dangerous.
I get
So
it.
oftentimes we find ourselves like really just, and I feel like it's more we get afraid because we don't want her to hurt herself.
True,
But
I get
then,
like that.
then it's just like, oh, I just want to pop you one because it scares us, you know? But I didn't have that option. Like my parents didn't speak to me. We got spankings.
Well, me having boys like every day is like I don't want you to hurt yourself thing, and it's like because they're jumping over couches and jumping on furniture, and every chance they get trying to hurt themselves. So it's like every day I'm like, oh my gosh, should I pop him for doing this? But my third child, he goes right back to doing the same thing. Like he's like a little daredevil. So.
Yes. I feel you on that. And how many like what are the years apart are they?
Well, I have a 6 year old, I have a 2 and a 1 year old. So the 2 and a 1 year old, they're like 15 months apart.
Oh, so that was what do they
The
call an
Irish
Irish? That was
twins.
an Irish twin girl.
Yes.
You had like no break. How was
No.
that?
Oh my God.
Oh,
I was
bless your
not
heart.
ready. I was not.
Right,
Because
because
it's
I'm
like,
sure the first one wasn't even like out of diapers yet, right?
no, he wasn't. I had to stop him cold from breastfeeding too. So it was like, oh,
Oh,
it was kind
right.
of hard.
Because you would have had to breastfeed two babies.
Yes.
And I'm sure that would have been, I mean, I don't know if
Interesting.
it's like impossible.
I think it's impossible. I don't think you
Is
do that.
it? I don't think you can. Can
Yeah.
you? I don't know.
Huh.
But I mean, wait, hold on one second. Let's not say that. Like, what about parents that have like twins?
Oh yeah, that's
But
true though.
you had time in between. So I don't
Yeah, I
know
did have time in between, so it's
if
kind
that would
of
affect that. Why don't you
yeah.
look into that? Because that's like
I should.
that's like
But the way
interesting.
I was told, like I couldn't breastfeed him while I was like pregnant with my other one, so I just stopped coaching.
Oh, got you. Oh, so that may definitely be a thing that you
Yeah,
can't breastfeed while you're pregnant because like all the harm like you're going through like hormonal changes. So that makes sense. Yes.
yeah. But talking about discipline, like when these two get together, is like we have to like split up to try to discipline them. And I'm bad at that, so my husband has to be yelling at both of them. So
At the same time.
yes.
I'm the yeller. I'm the yeller in the house, definitely. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I'm Puerto Rican and we yell. But it's just like sometimes, my husband is just he's the real softy and he speaks very stern. And he tells me that sometimes I should like change my approach as well. Instead of yelling, try to be a little bit more stern. But it just comes out as a yell because I'm just like, I'm mad. Because it's just like, all right,
Yeah.
like just why? And I get it. Like I totally get it. But like for me, I have 15 years between my kids. So
Oh wow.
the mother that I was at 20 and now being 37,
It's different.
it's like totally different. But I mean, and I had my daughter when I was 35. So it's like I feel different if you hear her and you're gonna hear her in the background. She's like
I
yelling.
do.
You don't hear her? Or she's like, no, no, because that's her favorite word too. Everything is like no. When she gets upset, it is what it is. But yeah, so it's a different kind of parenting. I feel like the parent that I was back then and the parent that I am now, it's like I feel like I have less patience. I feel like, everything is just totally different. How my son acted when he was little versus how my daughter acts now, it's like totally, totally different.
I was
Do
gonna
you
ask you
see a
that.
difference
Yeah,
between your kids,
yeah.
like their personalities,
They have way different personalities.
each of them?
Each of them, like the first one is more calm. The second one is a little crazy, but the third one doesn't listen at all. So yeah,
So
they're
you got a little bit of everything.
a little bit of everything.
Oh my goodness. I don't know how do you keep it all together? I'm just curious. Having three kids,
Girl.
like kind of like not very well. The two are close in age, but then You have the other one that's a little older.
Yeah, the 6-year-old, oh my God, like he has now developed the habit of talking back. So now
Mm,
I have to rethink my not being a disciplinarian
right,
thing.
right.
I'm like, okay, Rose, you have got to tell him that is not right, and you have got to start popping them because now he's running his mouth and telling you what it is, and you got to stop that before he gets any older and gets in your face and you have to go to jail. I don't know
Yeah.
how that's
No, but it's true because like we say, once a tree is like folded, you can never bring it back to being
for
straight again.
real.
That's like a saying that we have, and I feel like once you like allow that, it only gets
Mm-hmm.
worse.
It really
As they get
does.
older, it only gets worse. Because I remember like my daughter like throwing small little tantrums, and now that she's about to be 2, I feel like it's just getting like progressively worse.
Yo, the 2-year-old tantrums are like one of a kind. So,
Yeah, so I'm going into the terrible twos. I think me and my husband, we've
woo,
already been in
child.
the terrible twos since she's been 1. So I don't know if there's a such thing as a terrible ones, but we definitely started feeling that more when she got closer to 2, because she's talking more, she's expressing herself more. And then I'm like googling shit, and I'm just like, is this like a thing,
Yeah,
or is
I
this
feel
like a
like
thing?
girls
And
are like
some
more sassier. Is that true?
super, very, very super sassy, like my daughter's like a super diva. She's super sassy. I love her to death. She's so adorable. But some days I just be like just now, before I got on with you, I was
Yeah.
making dinner, and then she just brings all her toys into the kitchen. I almost fell over one of her toys, almost busted my damn ass.
Oh my God.
I'm trying to stop myself from killing myself while making sure she doesn't get hurt. And then my son is in the kitchen. He's like, "What happened?" I'm like, "Yo, you don't even know the ass busting that I was just about to have. Thank goodness it didn't happen." But then I'm just like, what? Like, what are you doing here? Like, you have so much space to play, and why are you bringing your stuff?
Exactly.
And then this is where I just want to be. That's the way I just want to pop her. Like, I just want to just pop her, but I'm like, oh, okay, let me just relax. I'm not gonna yell, but I'm like, why did you do that? But that doesn't work for me. My husband, his disciplining style, like he talks to her, he's stern, like I said, but then he tells her like to breathe. Like they
Oh.
go into like
Meditation style.
facts. Like namaste meditation. Like he tells her, like, just breathe, just relax. And I just be looking at them like,
Now is that because it's his little girl? Is that because it's a girl thing?
so it's his first child. It's his very first child. It's a girl. And she just runs his life. And I told him that this was gonna happen. I
Mm-hmm.
told him
That's
that
what
this was
little
gonna
girls do
happen.
to daddies. That's it. She's
I
got love.
I told them that this was gonna happen when I found that I was pregnant. I'm like, if we have a girl, it's just gonna be like
It's
this.
over.
And exactly what I said. So he doesn't believe in hitting her, because he also got hit growing up too, and he didn't
Oh,
like it
okay,
very much.
okay,
I didn't
okay.
like I
I
didn't
can
like
see
it
that.
either.
I can see that.
Right. I didn't like it either. And it was just like, okay, I didn't do it with my son. Like I think I must have, like, my son growing up, I may have like popped him like 3 times, but only because one time he threw a whole tantrum, and I was a single mom at that time,
Yeah.
and like I was coming back from the grocery store. I had a whole bunch of grocery bags on the stroller.
Oh
It was
no.
me and him, and he didn't want to come inside, so he threw himself on the floor. I was like, oh
Mm.
Lord. So I popped him.
Well, sometimes a pop is needed. Sometimes a pop is needed.
But he never did it again.
See?
So
Yeah.
that was like good. Like the things that I used to hear though, like when my parents, how they got disciplined, like how my aunts and uncle got disciplined, like that stuff would be like, it's like illegal.
Like the switch and
the switches, and all kinds of stuff. I'm like, I feel bad for y'all. Like, like for real. Like my mother has told me stories, and my father too. Like in my father's household, my grandmother she was like she ruled with an iron fist, and my grandfather was not. So my father didn't like it very much, but they used to like go through some stuff, and I'm just like, well, the culture is different these days.
Yes, definitely.
Kids are coming up different, and I feel like things are always like evolving. So like, what exactly like do you do? But that's the good thing about people having like different choices, and how they discipline their kids. That's another thing. You never want to tell nobody how to discipline their kids.
No, definitely not, because it's like everybody is different. Like for your husband, I agree with the talking thing because my husband used the same method. Like I think like they both, like my husband believes that if you tell the kids what they're doing wrong, like so they could process it, they
Mm-hmm.
won't do it again. And he feels that it's a good thing so you could communicate with your kid and let them know what you like and what they don't like, so later on, instead of getting angry and throwing the tantrum, they could tell you what they like and what you're doing wrong, that why they're throwing the tantrum. Because sometimes kids just be throwing themselves around and they don't know why, but if they could tell you why, it's
Right.
like, okay, so that's why you're doing that. Well, we don't do that in the real world, so
Right. Right.
yeah.
But that makes total sense. Like if when you put it that way, it's like it builds communication skills like with your
Yes.
children, and it kind of opens up the door to let your kids know, like, hey, we can talk about this, once they get to the point where they understand. Because a lot of people say like kids don't understand a lot of things, but I feel like they do once
They
they
really
get a
do.
certain age. You know what I mean? I feel like after like 1 years old, kids, they start to get like um they start to learn. And if you start teaching them young, they'll learn like how they feel about stuff. And they say that tantrums is a way of them just like being upset about something, but trying to communicate and not being able
Yes.
to.
Yes, exactly.
So that's why they get super upset, because they're trying to communicate, but we don't really understand them because they don't speak very well at that age.
Yes.
Most children. So I think your husband has the right idea as far as like
Yeah.
communication. Once they like your 6 year old, perfect. I think he gets like he'll get it.
He does.
But then, he's at a stage where he's just like he's 6
He said,
and he want to do his thing.
and he is gonna tell you off at some point because he likes to test the waters a little bit. So that's when sometimes we gotta bring him back to earth and be like, no, you can't do that.
Right.
Cause today
That's
he got in my face and started to say something. I'm like, and I just popped him in the mouth and was like, you don't talk to me like that. I don't like the way you got in my face with that much anger.
right.
Cause that was just uncalled for.
Right. And he's a boy, and you're his
Yes.
mom, you're a woman, so you also don't want to teach him to be
Yes,
aggressive towards
exactly.
women.
To come that way with somebody else, I'm like, I'm gonna stop that right here.
we gonna put a stop. We gonna nip that in the bud right now.
Yes.
Right, because you definitely like, one, you're his mom, and two, like I said, like, you don't ever want him to be aggressive with other women, and if you let that
No.
slide, he's
Mm-mm.
gonna think that that's okay. And that's how most, let me not say most, but there's a few men that grow up that way too. They learn that being aggressive because they never got, it never got corrected when they were children. And there's a lot of men out there that they think that that's okay.
Yeah, I told him it's
Unfortunately.
okay to be angry. It's okay to say, "Oh, I'm angry about this," but let me know why you angry and don't get all up in my face. Why you
Right.
letting me know? I
Right.
mean, it's good to express yourself. It's good to cry. Let it all out. I'm gonna,
Hmm.
just go to your room, cry, get it all out, and then when you calm down, come and tell me what's wrong. Like, it's okay.
Right. And that's great. I feel like I'm like that with my kids too. I don't know about you, but there was not a lot of talking about our feelings. Like,
Mm.
when I was growing up, it was kind of just like, all right, do what I tell you to do, and that's it.
Girl, I'm Haitian. I grew up in a Caribbean home, so there was not that much talking
Right.
about
A lot of
feelings
people,
going on.
yeah. That was like kind of like definitely a thing. There was not a time where people, where the people that were raising us is kind of like, let's sit down and let's talk about it.
Mm,
As I got older, being with my friends and being around different people, it's kind of like, okay, this is the way you do things.
yes,
You talk about it. You don't have to fight about everything. Everything shouldn't be like a fight, and not everything needs a certain kind of discipline.
true.
Some things just need conversations. Other things may need a little bit
Yeah.
more, and then you get to the popping stage
Yes.
where it's like sometimes it just needs to be done.
It just needs
But
to happen.
my husband is totally against it. Totally against it.
But it's probably because he has a girl, though. I think
Mhm.
guys act completely different once they have the girl. No matter what they say, they're like, "Oh, I'm never gonna act like this when I have a girl." But it's like when you see the little girl's face, you're gonna act that way when you have a girl. When you have
So
a
you think
girl.
it's just like, well, your husband wouldn't know because he doesn't have any girl children, but you think that's what it is? You feel like it's because she's a girl?
I think it's because she's a girl. I think they treat them so different. I really do.
I agree.
I
Like
really
I
do.
don't have anything to compare it to, but my husband does have, like, he has a goddaughter, and he helped a lot with his sister bringing her up as well,
Yeah.
and he was also very like that too with her. So I don't know, like, we don't have anything to kind of compare it to, even though like he came around when my son was like 4.
Yeah, I was
But
gonna
him
say
and
that
my
you had like
son,
that towards your
yeah,
son.
him and my son always had like a conversational relationship. They always
Okay.
talked. Like, he
Oh,
never
okay.
disciplined my son in any way. So they were more like friend. They're more like friends. Well,
Okay.
not now because they're older. My son is
Oh.
older, and they love each other like dad and stepson or whatever. But back then it was just like, okay, we're gonna talk about it because he never felt comfortable to do so.
Yeah.
And I appreciated that, because even though we were like together, I felt like, no,
I
I don't
get
want
it.
you to
I get it.
touch,
I get
like,
it. I get
like, I don't, I
it.
would really prefer that you not, like, please
Mhm.
don't
I get it.
um put your hands on my baby, because my
Yes.
son is going to be my baby, and leave that to me. Now
Mhm.
that we have a daughter together, and I'm like, okay, this is our child now. We can both
Okay,
do
this
as we
is the
please.
time.
But he still ain't on that bullshit. He's like, no. He's like, I'm gonna just talk to her. He's like, I don't need to hit her. I don't need to pop her. I don't need to pluck her. And I'm like, all right.
But wait until she's a teenager. I mean, is his view still gonna change? I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I think, then you get into the teenage stage and it's different, right? Because
Yes. Ugh.
now we're in the teenage stage with my son, and but it's a different kind of animal because he's a boy. And
Yeah.
then we don't know how she's gonna be. I mean, I know how I was when I was a teenager. I was
It's a
sassy as
different
hell.
dynamic with a girl.
Definitely.
And she's definitely
So
gonna have her daddy.
wrapped around her little fingers. She
Yes.
has him now. And when he sees when he sees this video, he's gonna be like, "Damn, you talking about me?" Like, but it's true. That's a
It
fact.
is. It is.
She's spoiled, spoiled, spoiled
That's
rotten.
what every little girl and their daddies. I mean, it's a sweet thing, but it's like the mommy's looking like, come on now. Let's get it.
Because it's true. It's like I'm grateful and I feel so blessed that they have that kind of bonds, right? But sometimes I'll just be looking at them like, you know what? I'm just gonna sit over here because y'all got your thing going on, and I hear you. I'm
Yes.
all for it. That's daddy daughter love. And the funny thing is that I'm close to my dad too. Like, I'm a daddy's girl,
Oh, see?
so I understand it. I definitely understand it because my father never hit me either. like growing up, I don't ever remember, like I can't even remember a time where my father has even yelled at me. I can't even tell you in all these years. I think back sometimes. I was having a conversation with my sister about that the other day. I'm like, I don't ever remember dad like disciplining us or like yelling at us,
Yeah.
or I don't remember any of that. So I'm like, all right, I can understand it, but it's different. The
It
times are
is.
different, people are different, and I think nowadays, so the kids coming up nowadays, I think needed our discipline from back then.
They did. They do. They do. Cause they're ruthless. They're more ruthless.
Yes. I was having a conversation. I don't know if you saw, I was on IG live with the girls from Mama's Cocktail Hour. We were kind of having a conversation about that. Like these kids are just, they're something else. You know, they disrespectful.
They
They don't
say
respect their
anything.
elders. They say what they want. They cussing up
Yes.
a storm. And it's just like, but it's a different time too. Like it's the time of the internet, it's the time of
Mm-hmm.
cell phones, it's the time of these kids just being, I feel like they're like born already like smart.
Girl, it's a time of they think that if we do something to them, they could just call the cops. I mean, the
That's
cops.
another thing
I mean,
too.
the cops could have you if that's the case. If they come over for that, I mean, pack your bags, go.
Oh my gosh. I did that once to my son. I think my son was like 10 years old. And one time he was just so upset. He was like, all right, I'm going to leave. I'm going to pack my bags. I was like, all right, well, guess what? You're going to leave out here butt ass naked because
Yep,
everything you got, I bought.
because you bought.
Yeah, down to your underwears, down to your socks. My mother thought I was crazy. She was like, you can't do that. I was trying to make a point. I mean, I would never do that. Let me just say
But
that. I would
it's just
never do
that.
that, but I legit was trying to make a point. Like what's wrong with you? You are still a kid and you have to listen. Like that's just the point. And I was trying to like explain to him why. I don't remember. I can't even tell, girl, I can't even tell you what we were what he was upset about. But it's kind of like, hey, this is like not up for debate. And that is happening a lot with the kids growing up
It
now. It's like
is.
they feel like everything is up for debate
Oh my
when it
God.
comes to when
You
it
ain't
comes to
never
your
lied.
parents. Hmm. I had a conversation with my son just like a little while ago, and we were talking, and I'm like, well, this is what I'm saying. I'm like, and this is not, it's not up for debate. Like I'm telling you no. And he's like, well, I'm gonna be going to college soon. Now that's his
That's his
new
new
word
thing.
for that's his new line. His new line for everything is, I'm
I'm
going to
gonna
be
be going.
17. I'm going to be going to college soon. Like, why can't I? And I'm just like, because you can't. Technically, you're still 16. You're still under my supervision. You're not 18. You are still a child. Just chill out. Just chill. You got so much time. I tell him all the time, I'm like, look, you're going to spend so much time being an adult.
Oh
You're
my
only a
God.
kid. You're only a kid for a little while. Enjoy it.
And it's funny how they never see that. I mean,
Mm-mm.
adulting is not that great.
Not great at all. Sometimes I don't want to adult at all.
Oh my God.
I
I
want
don't
to
know
just
why
crawl
they
into
always
bed
want to
and go to
grow
sleep.
up.
Like I used to say that all the time. Like I used to say the same thing. When I'm 18, I'm gonna move out. I want to be on my own. Girl, when 18 came
Mm-mm.
around, but I was working since 14, so I
Yeah.
got my first real job when I was 18. But when that time rolls around, I was like, damn, like this shit is like
Yeah, a
a
lot
lot
of
of
work.
responsibility. Who the hell wants to do this?
A whole
Like if
bunch
I
of
could
work.
go back now to tell my, teenage stuff, I would be like, yo, just chill,
Enjoy
relax,
your time. Enjoy your time.
enjoy your
Go have
youth.
fun.
Right? Because once you become an adult, that shit is over.
Mm-hmm.
So many responsibilities. And then if you bring kids to the mix,
Girl,
if you
team no sleep
bring,
all day.
when was the last time you were able to take a nap during the day?
Never. Oh my God. I can't before kids probably.
Right?
Yeah.
It's
When I
been
was
that
pregnant with
long.
my first one.
Hmm. I was thinking about that today because when I came home from the walk, I was like, man, I just want to go home and take a nap. Like I really just want to go home and take a
I
nap.
know.
And I'm like, I can't. Some days you have those days, especially like when you come home from work too. Like for me, when I come home from work, I'm like, yo, I just want to take a nap. I want to nap for a few hours and then get up, and then
But you can't.
never happens.
It really doesn't.
Never ever happen. These kids, we love them. We are grateful for them, but sometimes it just be like that.
Ugh. Sometimes
Like,
it drives you crazy.
yeah. But that's okay. I mean, this is what we signed up for, right?
Yep.
As soon as we signed up for being parents, this is what we knew we were getting into. So here we are. I can't but my friends tell me all the time, they're like, I can't believe that you started all over again.
Yo, for real. That was after 15 years, girl.
Yes, my friends, all their kids, like one of my friends, she's about to be an empty nester. Another
Oh
one of
my
my friends,
goodness.
yeah, her son is like 20, he's gonna be 21, I think. Her other son is 25. He's out the house, and my other friend, her kids are grown, and
Oh my
me
God.
and one of my other friends are the only ones that have little kids.
But you know what? Starting over is not so bad. Like you get to
No,
watch them grow up all over again, and plus you get a girl this time around. So
I know. That's it. But no
okay,
more. The shop is closed. Closed, closed, closed for business.
girl.
No, no. No, no, no. Mm-mm. I ain't having no more babies. No more.
Mm-mm.
That's it. But Rose, thank you so much for coming on. It was such a pleasure. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to catch you on all platforms.
Yes. And thank
Mama
you for
Life.
having me.
Yes, can't wait to do it again. I will talk to you soon. Thanks again for being on tonight.
All right.
Take
Bye.
care.